Hey, um, okay, let's explore how you can affect reality to shift. And really, it's about the coherence of the signal that you have with your reality. I'll explain in a second what that means. Here's like your center, and here's like the external world. So it comes in many layers, and they're all like woven frequencies that assemble into a reality simulation. So reality is a dream that in fact reflects to you exactly who you think you are. Now, who you think you are is not who you are. Or reality is, let's say, even a projection of your subconscious. But who you believe you are in your subconscious, that's not who you are. You are awareness. You are simple consciousness playing a video game in a sense. Okay, and the video game is complex, and so look, it basically works like this. Because you are only awareness, and if you close your eyes and you feel yourself infinitely to the left, infinitely to the right, infinitely behind your body, infinitely in front of you, infinitely above, infinitely below, and you just go into that feeling, you will realize that the whole entire universe and the God mind computer and like everything that exists in form is actually within you. That the awareness is the container, okay, that's infinite, and all dimensions of reality constructs, you experience them from you in form, incarnate maybe. You are also zoomed in. That awareness that is you is also zoomed into this form, so now you're in the world. However, you are the awareness. Well, paradoxically or simultaneously, you contain the whole world inside of you. And if you relax into that awareness, you will see that your nature is nirvana, or this sublime peace, that you, in effect, can't do anything, that you're not employed in any way. Okay? So, also your nature as that is that simply, you may zoom into will of curiosity, which then births the mind and births duality, and then starts to shape fractals and mandalas and all these things that actually organize into perception of reality in this level of complexity that you are now. But in fact, it is your mind, okay? It is just your will that is creating the spark of life, and then it's the mind that is branching everything out. So you, then your nature as the I amness is, bro, like you're so effortless. You're, even if you wanted to make the effort, you cannot make the effort, but you are so infinitely creative that the impulse of your will creates multiverses. That's and to you as awareness, that does not even come as a labor, that does not even come as a cost. But now you're projecting that, which is you, into superimposed individuations. When I say superimpose, it means that we're actually all in the same place, okay? Because in the simulation, we are like different people. We're walking downstairs, saying hi to each other, but actually, we're just, how can I say this? Like, if you create an apple in your mind by imagining it, and from that you create two apples, well, you just created the space and the juxtaposition by imagination. First of all, there's no apple, there's no form that you inhabit, but if you inhabit yourself in the apple and then you juxtapose yourself into two apples, it's just like having two eyes. Like, I can see from this apple, I can see from that apple, and then I take them apart and then the apples dance, and I can fractal myself, okay? Or I can first get into form as an object. So awareness is now inhabiting an apple or a human, and then I can superimpose that. I can copy paste it, one object on top of another, and then I can create a simulation where now there's distance between these two apples or people, and we are dancing together. So iterate this into so many layers of complexity, you get the planet Earth. Like, explain it to a 4-year-old, I don't know, type of deal. So because you are experiencing complex dynamics, okay, a complex gameplay where you can walk, you can talk, you can remember, you can create ideas, you can draw, you can whatever, right? All of this stuff. How does it actually work? Well, everything works by an automated operating system, because you as awareness, you're just witnessing. So the only thing that you as a witness could actually be able to do is, when a prompt arises in reality on your mind screen, either as a person saying, hi, come here, let's chill, you can say interest, like you can like zoom into it, say interested, and the energy creates intention that drives your body and your mind into that conversation. So you're walking, breathing, talking automatically when you subscribe into a timeline, and all the timelines you are prompted to subscribe into, because as awareness you can't actually do stuff. So like your mind or external mind reality shows you an apple, and then you go into it or not, you go into the watermelon. So everything is then just a choice point where you allow your awareness to go, but subconscious mind is programming already intentions that take your eyes towards something, and then so there is an energetic charge or intention in subconscious mind that is going to gravitate towards your previous understanding of yourself. Okay, basically the apple, the watermelon, what's resonates, what's drawing you in, so you just follow, kind of like that. Now, do you have free will at any given time? If you stay and you do not go forward into that intention, even though it wants to move your body and mind, is thinking something, then you can burn that sanskara, you can burn that intention. I mean, dissolve it, because you're unsubscribing. Basically, that's it. So, if you look at it like this, life's hella simple. It's hella simple. You can just go to the things that are of the highest excitement to you. Everything else that shows up, you can let go. Okay, and so now I'm going to tell you something else. So today, without any effort, with like I was just like doing this. So I was invited into a situation where people just sign me up to like make a lot of money. It's like it was ridiculously effortless. I was just like, sure. Now, even the timeline or the game or the universe, in order to make me actually not get confused by whether I want it or not and what is it or not, because it was a completely new situation, it had like all of these signs in place that made me aware that we're talking about something that is not just 3D, is not just human level of interaction or making money. There were like all these signs from kind of like, let's say, the spiritual lexicon or lore that is familiar for me. Okay, so like the guy was like, let me show you the app that you're gonna use to like, and then there was a picture of Babaji that was like a Hindu Mahavatar, and the numbers were 818. So it's like infinity mirroring infinity, and then like, and so all of these things were in place for me to just be like, sure. And now I'm facing this, that I was thinking, okay, I need to actually do some finances and how to do it, and paka. I really wasn't able to make the calculation based on my knowledge and the intellect. And this is what I want to talk about today, how we think that ego is in charge of actually being creative, and where ego is not even that which is supposed to compute and organize. Okay, which always leads to anxiety and burnout and all this kind of thing, and actually living in kind of control-based, government-based societies where we're not free to be in the dream that we are having, but there's some like external representation of the self-imposed limitation that will be the government, somebody governing you. Okay, because you, in your belief, in your projection, are not governed from the I am, but the mind is governing the I am, instead of the I am really not giving two F's about the mind story. Okay, which is when you can dissolve whatever story you don't feel excited about, you allow it to just skip, close the tabs. So the whole thing is then you should govern from your I amness, knowing that you are this actually transparent primordial matter, prima materia. You are consciousness from which everything constructs itself into a dream, and you are not your story or any identity that you make up. That these are identities that you can like switch them on and off. Okay, especially detrimental ones that keep the I am in prison. So if my I am is in prison in the mental construct or identity construct, that I can't do something, that I can't have something, that is like scarcity, that is a prison, that is I'm trapped in my own dream because I'm not realizing that the dream is within me, the larger I am container. But like I am someone in the world that needs to obey some law or some rule of some external authority that I don't have the power to choose. Okay, so that's the limited ego, detrimental ego. The ego can be also just you expressing thoughts and emotions in a way that's congruent with your I am. So then I can be talking from my body, from the subconscious lexicon, the verbal depository, my knowledge base. I can be using that to communicate, but I can feel light in that. I don't have to have anxiety or tension, okay? Because this is where you relax into your innermost self, knowing that everything is already perfect, everything is already fine, and you can flip the channels of reality. Therefore, if something is in your mind that is saying otherwise, you flip, you skip that. If something externally, you skip that. So not to resubscribe into self-limiting beliefs and non-self identities. Non-self identities, the ego that says that something that goes against the nature of the I am. I am is the ultimate creator. I am is everything that is. So I am also sees no separation or tension or problem between watermelon, strawberries, people, monies, whatever, right? It's just also recognizing that people that might be in a, let's say, lower bandwidth of consciousness or in their mind, that they're just God, they're figuring out how to play the game, and sometimes you want to develop the mind, so you're using the mind to make choices, and you can like use the ego to kind of, do I want the blue, or do I want the red, or do I want a cookie, or do I want a cake? And then you get ungrounded, because here you already know what you want. But then you can pretend that you're like choosing from the mind based on the information. What do you think about the red cookie? Guys, do you know anything about the blue cookie? So you're like gathering information so you can create informed decision. But this is not actually, it's a ghost, it's a phantom. Like if you're going from yourself, you know exactly what you want all the time. There's no in between. Okay, but we run programs, and oftentimes for the spiritual hygiene you have to defragment these programs. So anyway, so I was saying, so I get into opportunity to get all this money, and I'm like, okay, I'm in, and I'm thinking, okay, this is great, it's like a lot of money, more than I expected, and it's cool because it gets me to have all the things that I want, and I want to share things with others, and I want to share the life with my kid, and I was creating that with my desire. However, let me just explain a slight. So what came to me today as an inspiration was this simple claim. It's like the reality is a projection of your beliefs, and if you switch your beliefs, reality rearranges itself accordingly. Now, I mentioned something before that I said it's a coherent signal from your heart into, let's say, the object of your desire or world or life. So if that signal will have no distortion of limited thinking, no self-thinking, then anything that you are imagining right now, that you're desiring right now, forming the intention to go and do, that is already you. And actually, the mechanism of your authentic desire as the I am, as like what you're desiring, already exists. Maybe it's showing right now in the physical reality around you. Maybe it exists as a potential timeline that you are about to experience, so you're just getting the navigation. Desire is not something that you're separate from, like the object of desire is not something that you're separate from. It is something that you are already one with, and it's like your desire is just a compass that is pinging you, that is sending you the information that you will actually have that experience, and the less you stress it, the sooner you have it. The less you stress it, the sooner you have it. No need to chase it. You cannot push it closer. You cannot make it faster, like in the physicality, in the doing. But this is not how the world, the current civilization operates. Because I went to school and I went to work, and how we attempt to do things is actually not at all from effortlessness of already having it and then just playfully, creating some kind of arrangement that you then store your watermelon, that you then store your apple, and it lands into your lap. Okay? But the mind, the ego, creates the entity that is like, I am this person in the world, identity. I'm gonna do it by physical means, by intellectual means, by blah 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 blah, which every single time may even lead you to the apple or watermelon, but it's gonna feel like there's pain in your back, there's pain in your neck, that you're exhausted, that you need to sleep. So you spend your energy in doing something where you spread yourself too thin in this horizontal dimension, losing your vertical. Okay, so like the cross, you're losing, you're like going inside of this, all in, and you're spreading yourself too thin. And this is how we work. This is how people go to work. This is how people have the idea that they need to like work to get the money, whatnot, feed the family, and then they do it for all these reasons, to have the money, to feed their kids, to what, and it's just not like it's not installed. So what to do when the whole world is broken like this? I mean, we're slowly awakening, so everybody's gonna get in sync with the vertical, but you cannot take information from the world. The world is crazy. You cannot take spiritual awakening people. You cannot take information from the world. Simply, you need to trust your I am. You need to have strong vertical. You need to have strong horizontal, but you need to have it both in alignment, so you're always coming from the center. Okay, and this is the only way that you can go through life. Otherwise, all this information that is being pinged from other people, what they're talking about, how they're doing, what they're doing, you will really, really, really be programmed by whatever you receive, even from like the media or whatever. You'll be programmed. You'll be programmed by your teachers. You'll be programmed by your parents, because they have been programmed by the system, and all these kind of things. So the only thing that you can do is actually put more faith in yourself than in anything that you see in the world, because the world is an illusion. However, if the world is an illusion projected from your again, effortless intention, then you will get something that is a nice experience, and then your dream of life, your timeline, your personal divine manifestation of your own movie, where you're the main character, you will have a coherent, effortless experience of enjoyment. All the other things that you try to do is a bad program, and you will feel it makes you belittled, it makes you anxious, it makes you worried, it makes you feel like you don't have the power, or it makes you believe that you don't have the power within you, that you are as God, that you are God, source, infinite consciousness, coming here in the first person as itself. Okay, but then you'll be lost in an identity. An identity is somebody who is lost inside of this world, dimension of the world. So you're not the identity. You're not the identity, you're not the identity, you're not the identity, and especially the non-self or distorted identities. So how to notice then if we are, and the programs that are running in the world, like every 7 years, in the last couple, 3-4 cycles of 7 years, every 7 years I ascend into pure frequency, and I am free from the program of this world. And then when I go into the world, the program is so distorted that it just creates pain and disease and mind distortion if I'm talking, interacting with the world, with the people, with society. And then, you know what, I go back into my own like space, and I defragment everything that I hear, everything that I pick up, all the fear, all the projection. I transmute, and clear out. And then because we're information processing models, so you have to have your hygiene. And if you want to play in the world, you're going to get dirty with ideas that are not true self ideas. They're non-self ideas, because all the people in the world, they're running like this disease. They're like baby gods incarnate as little cells. Like everybody's consciousness is God, but in the informational processing models of our individualities, people are running many crazy ideas that are not in alignment with who we are inside, which is God. And so I've been creating some programs that gonna help everybody out there discover more effortlessly the non-self beliefs that the program is running, that your computer is running. Because once if you can like actually know yourself as the I am, the infinite everything I am, not separate, not in a problem, not ever actually deprived of anything. Like, you cannot be deprived, you cannot be lacking. It's a holographic projection. You're a projector of this holographic reality that looks like a physical construct, but it's actually designed to manufacture something that you're projecting. And you're just like, it's so complex that you have the whole subconscious template projecting and assembling it for you, and then you're playing in the game and you're learning lessons. So you're learning how to walk, how to talk, how to build something from bricks or Lego, and then you're doing more complex tasks, and then sometimes you can get out of balance. It's so easy because just reality is so complex. It's not a problem. You can always restore balance, you can go back to balance, because it's kind of like playing sports and wanting it to be fun. You want a ball to go all over everywhere, and you're trying to chase it, right? And then hit it in the right angle. So you want it to be interesting, okay? And then you can go out of balance, or you can even miss the ball, or not have enough stamina to run and be like, I didn't catch that shot. I'm like talking paddle now. If you guys play paddle, hit me up. We can go play a game. It's so fun. But it's a complex reality. We can all fall out of balance. Actually, the whole system of how humans live on the planet is so out of balance that like it's getting curvy on every turn. It's so jittery curvy on every turn, and so it's kind of fun. It's a goofy ass game, but even though it is so, we still want to maintain some kind of composition. So if your signal is coherent, then what you desire is already one with you. And if you do not listen to other non-self beliefs that say something needs to be hard or is impossible to get or whatever, blah, 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 you can connect with the other or the object of your desire and hold that as a coherent signal. And then witness what non-self beliefs or diminishing thought forms or programs come to you, and you can resign them. You can literally close them. All the thoughts, all the logic, all the ideas, all the knowledge, it's not serving you if it's saying that something needs to be hard. And this will take you actually then into what is called now residing in a 5D, because if you're moving from this, what I'm explaining right here, you will see instant materialization and REM materialization, or like physical reality. You will start to see it shape shift. Okay, that's a next level of the game that we are collectively approaching, where the reality, the physical reality, is non-physical, is the quantum observer phenomena. It's a projection of your beliefs. If you're able to transmute beliefs as you go, the physical reality and the circumstance around you will dissolve. First, they will start to be quantum jumps, timeline jumps, non-physical or non-linear phenomena. So like if you're telling yourself a story that you're in a fixed time, in a physical reality, and things start to jump around you, then it's non-linear. So there's no linear congruency. Something may be appearing to be like whatever you're projecting from your identity at a given moment, and then you change how you think, you change how you look at the world, you change how you feel, and set up the entire storyline, and even the physical things start to just behave in this new way. So we call it quantum shifting, or like, I don't know, whatever, non-linear phenomena, timeline jump, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. But how do you manifest? Signal coherence from the I am into the object. This is the only thing. Being relaxed in knowing that you are already one with that. Being relaxed in knowing that you are already one with that. Being relaxed in knowing that you are already one with that. Being relaxed in knowing that you are already one with that. So of course this is not happening in the mind. Is going to, should I be red or blue? It's here. You feel it out there. It's a coherent signal. You know you're one. You feel, you know that this is just a okay, you're superimposing the I am into something other, and then you're creating this juxtaposition, because you as infinite consciousness, you're just doing that. You copy paste the apple, then you make it into two juxtaposed objects. This is how the consciousness and the mind of God work, and this is what is creating your reality to the level of complexity that we are experiencing now. So nothing need to be then understood by the ego anymore. Okay, nothing need to be understood by the ego. It does not have, the intellect does not have any utility, any purpose in this. I'm giving a discourse which is again pointing that you don't need any discourse. So enjoy whatever it is that you are playing with. Enjoy whatever it is that you're playing with. If you're playing against something, you're creating a tension that in a base assumption. So like, I can't have something, something is missing, I don't have something in my life, something is not good enough. That thing that is outside of you, the person, the desire, the whatever, like it seems like hard. You're creating negative intention. You're projecting and assuming a meaning that it is outside of you in a way that you can't have it. Based on a physical presumption of reality, based on whatever belief, you don't need to have that belief. Okay, next time I will go into your subconscious mind, how to actually query the subconscious mind to show you the non-self beliefs and dissolve them immediately. But 30 minutes already here, guys. I'm gonna drink some water. My mouth is dry from blah blah. But yeah, hope this finds you in the right moment, and I'm sending much love.